Oh yeah, I kind of forgot that Shadow Mario has been holding that rocket nozzle for a few days. So we should probably wrestle that out of his hands. Literally wrestle it out. Like, enter a wrestling match with the WWE, and then Mario and Shadow Mario enter the ring together, and one of them has the rocket nozzle, Shadow Mario has the rocket nozzle, and Mario has to wrestle it out of his hands, and everyone in the entire universe, including John Cena, comes to see this fight, and it is the fight of the century, except it's not even the fight of the century because it lasts several centuries, because Mario and Shadow Mario are evenly matched, and then everyone who watches the show from the audience dies, because it just goes on way too long, and then Mario and Shadow Mario continue to fight. Yes, that is what will happen. Okay, so he's dead now. Shoot! I was just about to rocket jump, too. I don't know why you didn't. He said something similar with the turbo nozzle, too, which, if he used the turbo nozzle while I was trying to chase him, I wouldn't have stood a chance. So, yeah. Shadow Mario slash Bowser Jr. is kind of dumb. So I think I'll go ahead and use this rocket nozzle to get one of the Delfino Plaza shines. I'll probably get a few Delfino Plaza shines, actually. Because we haven't gotten enough. And that's just what I feel like doing. It's still pretty dark out. I think... I'm not positive about this, but I think at around 70 shines, everything is perfectly well lit. I know it's a specific number. You don't have to actually go all the way to 121, or 120. It's not 121 in this game. So yeah, there's that. I could probably finally clean off the shine gate and get the shine sprite that is in the shine gate, and then you have to put it back. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Because I run into everything. Freaking everything. Can I get to it from here? Yes, yes I can. Now what I like to do normally is get up here using the flood. Just the hover nozzle for the flood. The thing is, you can't get the shine sprite afterwards unless you have the rocket nozzle, so there's not really a point in doing that. For the purpose of cleaning this up. Looks nice and sparkly now, though. Okay. And then we rocket off, rolling around at the speed of sound. Got places to go, gotta follow my rainbow. I can't stick around because I'm collecting this shine and it's gonna warp me back to the plaza, so... I mean, we're in the plaza, but the plaza part of the plaza. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, it's plausible that that's the plaza of the plaza. Yeah. I'm not really... Like, this is just gonna be the episode where I go around collecting random Delfino Plaza shines and blue coins, I guess. So... The only thing that I really have to talk about is something entirely irrelevant that I've been wanting to talk about in a video for quite some time, but there's never been a point when it's relevant, and I don't want to make a video about it by itself because it's just kind of a whiny subject. Maybe not whiny, but I've seen 3 animated movies in relatively quick succession somewhat recently, not even that recently anymore, and I've just wanted to go on a tangent about each one and kind of comparing them. And those movies are as follows. Cars 3, the Lego Batman movie, and Sausage Party. Sausage Party, that was my second time seeing it. The others were my first time seeing it. And some of you are thinking, why would you want to watch Sausage Party more than once? That movie was awful, but that's part of my tangent. Just, yeah, I think that... Well, I'll just start by going through all of these in order, talking about which ones... Just talking about my experience with each movie. I saw Cars 3 because I was like the only one in my family, the only person in my family besides one of my brothers, willing to even give the movie a chance, because everyone thought, like, the Cars series is awful after Cars 1. Well, Cars 1 wasn't the greatest movie, and then Cars 2 was substantially worse, by most people's standards. And, yeah, nobody wanted to give Cars 3 a chance. I did, because I want to see every Pixar movie that they put out. And what I was expecting was something maybe on par with, but not quite as good as the first Cars. What I got instead was I liked the movie better than either of the other two Cars movies. I think it's a perfect conclusion for the story, and it's a good story in itself. I think it's a really well-written movie as far as the narrative that it was going for and the message that it was trying to tell. So, I admire it as a movie. And even though it's not particularly funny, I don't really think that matters because the humor is not really the focus of the movie. I just see it as, like, the characters were, well, what am I trying to say here? It's just an indication of the characters' personalities, what kinds of jokes they make. I don't know. I really didn't have many problems with the movie. I would put it kind of in the middle of all of Pixar's library of movies in terms of rank. This is a nice secret, by the way. You can just jump over most of it. And there we go. Took some damage, not that it matters. But yeah, then I saw Lego Batman Movie because I really like the Lego Movie, and I think it's brilliantly well thought out. I was always hesitant to see the Lego Batman Movie because I always thought, well, how are they going to make this as deep and impressive or as funny as the Lego Movie? I don't see how they could strike thunder in the same place twice, basically. And, in my opinion, they didn't. I was kind of... Maybe it wouldn't bother me that much if the movie didn't have a 90% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, indicating that most people think it's great, or at least most people like it more than they don't like it. But I really wasn't that impressed with it, honestly. Watching both of those movies together, liking one that people don't seem to think is that impressive, and then not liking one that everyone seems to like, kind of threw me for a loop. Like, what does my opinion mean in relation to everyone else's if I like a movie that has 60-something% and I don't like one that has 90%? Because I just found the Lego Batman movie to be really generic and predictable. I saw every joke coming. None of them particularly surprised me. The plot, you can figure out everything that happens in the movie, you can figure out what will happen in the first 5 minutes. The Joker and Batman relationship is no different from... Well, actually, it's the same relationship as, like, Professor Doofenshmirtz and Perry the Platypus and Phineas and Ferb, except less fun. So that makes it less interesting. It makes a lot of really easy jokes, and doesn't really do anything clever with them. It doesn't really subvert any tropes. It really just takes tropes to their absolute extreme in terms of cliché, like, I'm afraid of loss, so I work alone. And then in the end of the movie he realizes, but wait, it's okay to have friends. And that's the plot. That's the kind of plot that you have in, like, a 10-minute TV show episode. I would say 20, but actually I think 10 is more accurate, because sometimes you have 20-minute episodes of a show where there are 2 episodes within the episode, and they're both 10 minutes. Yeah. It really just felt like a really long episode of a Saturday morning cartoon, and not a particularly great one. But with really flashy visuals. I still was... I don't want to say captivated, that's not really the right word. But it kept my interest long enough to watch it and not really look away, mostly because of how pretty it is. It's just an eye candy movie with some clever ideas, and that's kind of it, in my opinion. And then Sausage Party, was the movie that I decided to watch after Lego Batman movie because I like it better. And I think it's another high-energy movie that's a lot smarter in how it's put together. A lot of people don't really like Sausage Party at all because it's a movie with a whole lot of sexual jokes, and that's perfectly understandable. A lot of people don't like sexual humor. I'm not really the biggest fan of it myself. Well, I mean, I still make sexual jokes here and there, but it's not really something that I'm, like, obsessed with, and I wouldn't make a whole movie out of it, for sure, but I think the whole concept is done really, really well. And the movie it's another one of those narrative-focused movies, and it's hard to really say how it's going to end, which is something that I appreciate in a movie. I appreciate when a movie takes an idea and rolls with it and takes it to its absolute extremes, which Sausage Party definitely does. It takes the idea of a really super dirty food-related movie about food in a grocery store and does basically everything that it could possibly do with it. And, I don't know, it does it in a really smart way that you wouldn't expect the movie to be as deep as it is, or as... It's not heartfelt, that's not the right word for it, but it does have some warmth to it, which I can appreciate. You actually do care about the characters, or at least I did. Okay, I'm just kind of wandering around aimlessly now. I'm trying to figure out what I should do next. I should probably go over to that island over there. That'll work. I particularly like Barry. Barry's a pretty great character. I think it's a good movie. Even though I don't really care for the humor that much, I still think it's probably funnier than Lego Batman. Because at least the jokes in Sausage Party can catch you off guard. Whereas Lego Batman movie is just the same jokes that have been told 100 times. Oh, and another thing that I want to rant about with that movie, just very briefly, is there was potential for a really funny joke at one point in the movie when Batman says something to the effect of, "Oh, come on, guys, I mean, getting a bunch of criminals together to fight criminals, what a stupid idea." That could have been funny. Like, that's a perfectly... That's a really great idea or setup for a joke. Not really a setup of a joke. That's just a good punchline for, like, Suicide Squad coming out and not being a movie that a lot of people really liked. Or just the idea of Suicide Squad in general. It's a good jab at that. The problem with that joke is that less than a minute before that, in the movie, Batman is asked, or Batman is told that he's going to team up with someone, and he excitedly asks who he's going to team up with, and one of the things that he excitedly brings up is Suicide Squad. So, the joke that he makes about criminals working together to fight criminals being a stupid thing goes against his character from less than a minute ago. It's just really dumb to me. It could have been funny, but the context ruined it. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. I should probably talk to this woman before putting a lot of coconuts in her basket. Yeah, I don't think that any of that read because I didn't talk to her first. But I'm gonna keep the whole rant that I just made. These coconuts are a little bit obnoxious. But you know, I've got a lovely batch of coconuts, doodly-doo. There they are, all standing in a row. Big ones, small ones, some as big as Mario's head. Even bigger, in fact. And then I don't know the rest of the words to the song. Which I did not sing at all. I just kind of said it. Thanks, sweetums! You're welcome, sourums. I don't know. Also, I like how the manhole covers, flip from day and night. Sometimes they glitch out, though, like this one. But I'm okay with this. I wonder if there was ever an intention for this, for Delfino Plaza to have a daytime and nighttime. Because I could see that being something that they could do. They There is one level in this game that has a day-night cycle, kind of, because every other mission in the stage is day or night. Which I think is cool. It's a cool mechanic for the level. Really, I like, in general, when games have a day-night system, because it just contributes more to the atmosphere, and sometimes some clever things can be done with it. I like Fungi Forest in Donkey Kong 64. Despite that being my least favorite level in that game, I still enjoy it. And I remember making this player's guide where I made a level similar to it. Made up something that had to do with, like, in the daytime, ice would melt, and at night, then everything would freeze. But, I didn't have a very good puzzle sense back then, so all the puzzles that I came up with were super easy. But that is not the game that I should be discussing while playing Super Mario Sunshine. Now I have to figure out how to get in that tower. I think, yeah, I forgot that there's just a manhole on top of a roof. Do manhole covers exist on top of roofs anywhere in real life? I don't really know. I doubt it. Because why would somebody have a sewer system going through their house? This was not well thought out. Hoo boy. Just stretching. Just stretching because I have been sitting for quite some time. I've been sitting since the dawn of time. And of course by dawn, I mean Dawn Pianta. Pianta. I say Pianta usually. But it could be Pianta. Or it could be Pinata, even though that's not how it's spelled. There's another bell. It's a little bit stupid that there are two bells that you have to clean. But, they're slightly, very, very slightly different. This one's the harder one to work with to get the shine, in my opinion. After you're done cleaning it. Okay, let's read the devs report. It's been reported that a lone Yoshi egg has been spotted. Well, yeah, all Yoshi's eggs are spotted, stupid. That was terrible. I think the idea of the Yoshi's egg appearing in this game, I don't know if they say this or not, or if it was just my assessment, but because there's only the one Yoshi in Mario 64 that you never actually get to ride on, I thought that maybe there was like a Yoshi extinction, like a mass extinction, like a meteor hit the Earth and killed all the Yoshis, and so they've just been, they just haven't been around for a long time, and this egg that we find is one of the few in existence, and then the Yoshis come back in full force by reproducing. Maybe I didn't go into that much detail with my childhood mind, but I did assume that Yoshis were sort of extinct, or at least endangered, and they discovered an egg, a really rare egg. It's probably not what happened. Let's see. There are definitely some more blue coins that I want to collect. I've collected most of the shine sprites that I wanted. Let's see. I think there's one back here. Well, there's certainly coins back here. Now, while I'm doing this, I might as well just get the 100 coin star. Because it's... Star. Yes, I keep saying star. What is that show called? I'm thinking about... What is it called? Star and the Forces of Evil? That's a show that... I don't know. I mean, I don't really watch any cartoon shows. I'm kind of interested in Gravity Falls. I would kind of like to see that one. But for the most part, I don't find shows that interesting looking. That one in particular, it bothers me that the characters' mouths move so much. Not just that they talk a lot, but their mouths physically move on their face so much. It's a little bit disconcerting to me. Now, if you're going for 100 coins in this, in the plaza, it is a must for you to get all the ones in the sewers. because there are definitely a lot in the sewers. And this will definitely have to be the last thing that I do for this video. But I don't think it should take too terribly long. I wasn't even really planning on this being the Delfino Plaza part, it just kind of happened. Let's see. Somewhere around here is a manhole. Yep. Not necessary for 100% or anything, but it's here. I'm glad that they actually keep your lives, because, well, have I already said that before? Like, I just think it's kind of pointless to get rid of them in every new play session. Might as well treat a game as if... Well, in my opinion, it's the idea of having a save system is to make it so that whenever you turn off the game, it's as if you never turned it off. So, getting rid of all your lives every time you turn off the game does not really follow that at all. But yeah, I think they changed that with the 3D Land and 3D World games. Birds outside. There was a bird outside chirping at midnight, and I did not understand it. Why am I spraying these birds? I mean, it's because of the bird outside, of course. It's because I want to get my vengeance for them being noisy. I'll just go around the sewer some more. Just casually wandering around the sewer system. It's apparently very clean, because Mario never has sludge whenever he goes through them. I guess maybe the island really was pristine before all the goop covered everything up. Maybe I was being a little bit harsh on the Piantas, the Payontas, the Pagodas. It's also kind of weird. I feel like I've already been in this section with all the water, but apparently not. Now there's another blue coin there. Are there just 2 layers of sewer here? Okay, I'm thinking about 2 different stories now. Well, not really 2 stories. I'm just thinking about how the Metal Mario theme in Mario 64, I remember showing that to this kid that we were babysitting a long time ago, and like, he heard the music and he didn't like it. Like, I asked him if he liked it and he said no, and I was really confused. Like, how could you not like this music? It's so catchy, it's so intense. But he just didn't like it, and that was actually the entire story. I don't know. It was something that I remember for being kind of not something that I agreed with, and I figured, oh, he's a toddler, he would of course like this same stuff that I like, he would probably like anything that I showed him, but that's not true. I picture kids being very agreeable, but sometimes they're not, and I don't fully understand kids. I know that I was one once, but I didn't understand myself either. Alright, time to go all the way over there. To the over there stair. Trying to determine what would be the fastest way to get over there. Probably just hovering. Because the boat is going to come by, and I was thinking of getting the rocket nozzle, but that would just make this process slightly longer. It is possible to get 999 coins in the Delfino Plaza area, except it's not specifically this area. It's this area tied with the airstrip once you unlock that again. You go back and forth between the two. But yeah, not going to do that because it would take forever, but I did do it once, and it was fun times. Yeah, I guess next time we probably won't be doing more Delfino Plaza stuff. Let me see here, let me look at my totals. Yeah, we'll probably get the 7th Shine in Peanut Park and go back to Gelato Beach, and then after that, who knows? So, see you guys then, thank you for watching.